The BumbleKast is for entertainment purposes only. The host's comments and opinions, and those of their guests, are wholly their own and do not represent that of any other entity. Content is provided as is, with no guarantees of accuracy or timeliness. Unauthorized redistribution or editing of the BumbleKast in whole or in part is strictly prohibited.
Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Hey, we're here, and we've got loads of questions. So many.
And this time, it doesn't sound like I'm gargling hot gravel as I answer them.
You sound so much better. I am so glad to hear you just, not dying.
Not 100% yet, still. COVID is a nasty thing, but definitely better.
Good.
Which means I can get through all these questions that come from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Well, let's not test that too much and get through them quick here. Starting off with this one from First Swagmaster E. You've expressed your love of anti or opposite characters in the podcast, so I was curious, how would you handle an anti version of Drogoon? Is Wind a shill for Galaxon's oppressive ways and owns all their merch? Is Lissy an angsty teen, hair flips and all? I need answers.
You have unlocked in me something dangerous.
I would assume you've already thought about this.
No, honestly, I actually hadn't. I have been so focused on getting the main story figured out and exploring the main universe. I actively told myself we're not even going to consider multiverse. Multiverse is tired.
Well,
I don't want to do multiverse. I don't even want to think about it until I have things done. The first book isn't out yet, really. It's too early to do the anti stuff. And yet
here we are.
Here I am with this thought experiment, and it's like, you could go the very easy, just 180 flipsies on stuff for the laughs.
Yeah.
But I think you could get a way more interesting, way darker story if it was a legit what if everything took the bad path. Like, what if we had the same general starting points, but for all the wrong reasons? And that's delightful. Only problem is, to really spin on that, I would have to get into like long spoiler term plans.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that because the first book isn't out yet.
Well, hurry up, Ian Flynn.
And it's funny too, because the anti-wind in concept actually runs really parallel to some of the very long-term plans with her and her backstory and just the world in general, which you're kind of sitting there going, what the heck does that mean? And trust me, it makes sense. It will make sense about 5 books in. It will make sense, I promise. But it's like, ooh, this, you could play with it this way, and you could even do like a reversal here, or it completely flips the meaning and the themes and the lessons of the characters if I do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, but that means nothing to you because the first book isn't out yet. I mean, there's also the completely simple version of everyone's just a mean jerk, and that's funny, and that's fine too.
I mean, but that's overdone. We've seen that before.
Do that as like a lampoon thing on the side. Because yes, what Drogoon really needs right now is more, not just variants, but variant spin-offs.
Oh, of course.
Because why not?
Well, that's how it is now. You got to build a whole franchise. You can't just have one thing.
Yeah. And I'm 100% guilty of that. I'm deep down that rabbit hole.
All right, well, let's move on to this one here from Aiden7479. When writing a story, how much do you think about the atmosphere? Not just the weather and color of the sky, like rain when a character is sad, but how much the location enhances a situation. For instance, being in space for a climactic fight, though some could rightfully say that example is overdone. And finally, how much do you leave to the artist's discretion?
I do take it into account for pretty much every scene, some more than others. Like, if the setting and the atmosphere, both thematically and literally, are not a major component of the scene. Doesn't have to be that detailed, but if it is really coming into how the staging is going to be done and how it's going to affect the moment, then I definitely want to be more emphatic on what we're doing with it. What is not just the weather, but what are the colors possibly? What is the theme for the staging? Like, should this be, like, sometimes I would call out, this needs to feel claustrophobic because we want this to have an oppressive feel. Or these two characters are having a battle that's rather desperate, so it would not make sense to do it in a lovely little floral field. It needs to have jagged edges. It needs to have a sense of enclosedness and that you can't escape, a dinginess, a desperation to it. There's some stories coming up where the location I chose specifically affected how the battle would play out, and what kind of actions could be taken in there and what kind of perils could the characters avoid and lead others into. So I try to be as direct and descriptive as I can, but ultimately that will come down to the artist's interpretation, and I have to be open to them having their own ideas on how to render that.
Alrighty. Andrew D has a question. Next up on our list of anti-Mega Man stories is Spiritus Ex Machina. How does this play out? As a reminder, some notable moments were the appearances of Dr. Cossack, Kalinka, Pharaoh Man, Dr. Lalinde, Quake Woman, the Emerald Spears, and Ramoon. I'm curious to see how everyone interacted with each other in this one and what the whole trade show takeover was about.
Big anti-version theme for this episode. Some of this is easier than others. Because, all right, in this scenario, Dr. Light is still seen as the benevolent benefactor, but he's really evil and aiming to take over the world with his killer robots. So I guess in this case, the Emerald Spears are right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Maybe call them the Ruby Lances this time around.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Xander and the others are truly dedicated to the benefits of humanity and really want to make a difference, and they're terrified of these robots and AI-driven future and will not go to extremes that would hurt other people, but are still very passionate about what they do. So you can't help but root for them, but what are you going to do when you're kind of anti-technology and up against the little blue boy with a nuclear reactor? Solar reactor. It's
Whatever.
Blues who has the nuclear. You know what I mean.
Yeah, whatever.
And I guess Dr. Lalinde in this version, thought Tempo was getting too mouthy, so erased her personality.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
The extreme version of send you to your room.
You got too much you have too much personality. You need to be erased. Start over.
Mega Man and Roll are both of the opinion of rude. How dare the fleshy thing do that to one of ours? But they got to play nice.
Yeah.
So otherwise it goes pretty much the same. It's just, Mega Man is really struggling with that 3 laws thing. Dr. Light, these are terrorists. Can't I shoot the terrorists? No, son, that's bad PR.
Whatever.
And
is it these days, to be fair?
Maybe Dr. Cossack is just the same regardless. He's just so universally grumpy. He's not really good or evil. He's just perfectly neutral. You can't antify him.
That'd be funny.
Maybe that's my Cossack bias talking.
Maybe. As
for Anti-Ramoon, I don't know. Because he was so, evil.
Just just a big evil thing.
How do you flip that on its head like that? And you know what? I'm going to put that off until the inevitable question about the Ramoon arc.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
Yeah.
But
we'll hold off on that one.
At the very least, Wily finds the Coupure droid that becomes Shadow Man. He's like, oh, that poor little robot, I'll fix it. And finds, Blues and is like, oh, that poor little robot. Oh, this is one of Thomas's. I'll fix it and make it better.
Oh. Good, good. Here's Axis with a question. It's been a hot minute, so here's a shipping question. Goku from Dragon Ball and Ryuko from Kill La Kill. How's it go?
That's an odd one.
Sounds like... I don't know.
And we're going to say, like, late Dragon Ball Goku, so there isn't some really worrisome age gap there.
Wait, hold on. Like, Goku...
Ryuko's in high school, isn't she? It's been a while since I saw Kill la Kill.
I think, yeah. They might mean, like, adult Goku from Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, and it's debatable just how old he is when, we see him with Gohan, but Gohan's a few years old.
Not kid.
That makes Goku
kid
like
Goku. So...
No. But like end of Dragon Ball, Goku was a young adult.
Yeah. Apparently Ryuko.
He aged. Yeah, no.
Apparently Ryuko's 17.
Yeah. We're gonna say late Dragon Ball and keep teen Goku in the mix here.
Okay.
And I don't think she would be interested in him, and I don't think he'd necessarily be interested in her, because Chi-Chi had to get his attention by kicking him in the head. But I don't know, if there's an excuse for them to fight, he'd enjoy it, and he wouldn't pull any punches with her, and I think she'd appreciate that. So at the very least, they'd be good sparring buddies.
Yes, that makes some sense to me, knowing what little I know about these two characters.
I don't know, maybe she assumes his gi is evil and tries to kill it.
Which I know a tiny bit about Ryuko, specifically. I don't know much about Kill La Kill, but Ryuko I know a little bit about. Goku,
Hey, it's a weird show. It's worth a watch, I guess, but it's a weird one.
That's what I've heard. All right, Butter Noodles has a question. For a hypothetical series revival with a 4-issue miniseries of the following 3 Sega IPs, which do you think you'd like to tackle, and what would fit best for you? Knights, Rystar, or Vector Man?
I'll take any, to be perfectly honest. But if given the choice, I would be hard-pressed to choose between Rystar and Vector Man.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing against Knights. Knights is grand.
But we've already seen that comic form.
You can do it.
So
you can do it again. You can do. I mean, it's the Dream World. You can do anything with Knights.
I know.
I'm not as familiar with Knights, and I'm more familiar with Rystar and Vector Man. And I don't know, the science fantasy whimsy of Rystar has limitless potential, but Vector Man's got that working class dude up against impossible odds with also a science fantasy nonsense. You could probably cross the two over, not gonna lie.
Rystar and Vector Man? All right. Very clashing art styles, but all right.
Clashing art styles too, but I mean, Vector Man's a space traveling robot from Earth who, fights giant bugs and killer warheads. And Rystar goes around different planets. Rystar could come to Earth. I mean, why not?
I mean, sure, yeah. The weird Vector
Have
Man.
him team up against Greedy, who's been stealing all the bugs from the second Vector Man game. You can make it happen.
You call it Rystar Man?
Vector. Yeah, okay, Rystar Man.
Rystar Man.
But I don't know. I'm really interested in the extremely loose world of Vector Man, and would like to explore that more. But I also really, really just adore everything about Rystar's vibe. Either of those would be my first pick. And if it was like, no, you have to do Knights. Oh, gee darn.
Oh gosh, dude, why not all 3? Why not all 3 indeed?
Rystar goes to sleep, sees Vector Man in the dreamland, and you see this electric sheep jump by, and Vector Man's like, well, that answers that.
Yep. All right, KB has a question. Dr. Wily and Wario both get isekai to the world of the Dover Boys at Pimento University, or the Rivals of Rockford Hall. How do the two get along with the local scoundrel Dan Backslide?
Oh, they all hate those Dover Boys. And if anything, now you have 3 anti-Dover Boys.
So, what is this? I'm so lost.
I believe it's a Chuck Avery directed Warner Brothers cartoon.
Is that? Oh, okay. All right. Now that I see this looks familiar. Okay.
The Dover Boys are 3 college-bound students of very distinct design who are all hilariously seeing the same girl, who is also the affection of Dan Baxlight, who is the quintessential radio drama villain. And he attempts to kidnap her, and as the Dover Boys rush to her rescue, she beats the ever-loving crap out of him. And then they rescue her by beating the ever-loving crap out of him, and it's just nonsense start to finish. And it's hilarious.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the lines that gets memed all over the place is Dan Backslide sees a car and he looks at the audience and goes, "A runabout, unattended. I'll steal it. No one will ever know."
I'm seeing a gif of that right now.
Yes. So it's somewhere on YouTube. Watch it. It's very formative of my sense of humor, I would say. And it would be fascinating to see someone of the younger generation go into this blind and see what their take is on it.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's something special. Anyway, point is, Wario and Wily would very much be in their vibe.
Oh,
and
that makes
I could
sense.
see all 3 of them in unison going, "A runabout, unattended. I will steal it. No one
We'll ever know."
Have Darla beat up all 3 of them effortlessly. Have him crawling across the floor. "Help, Dick! Help, Harry!" Just do Dover Boys beat for beat. It's just you have Wily and Wario.
Oh, this tracks. That tracks. That sounds about right. Cartoon villainy.
Oh, fantastic. Speaking of cartoon villainy, we got a question for you, Kyle.
What's up?
This one comes from Comic the Hedgehog. What is Kyle's villain origin story?
Oh, geez. What is my villain origin story, Ian? One too many questions on the BumbleKast. I had to read one too many weird questions, and then it's all over. Maybe that's it.
No. We finally make it the big time with the BumbleKast, and some interviewer goes, "So Kyle, how did you get started with this whole business?" And you go, "Well, it was with KNGI, my 20-year-old radio show." And they go, "Oh, you have a radio show?"
I'd be like, yeah.
See, that's the problem. You're too easy.
I know. I'm too I mean, yeah, check it out. It's right over here. Yeah, I'm not.
Unless you pull like the whole Dexter easygoing serial killer type thing.
Unless I fake it, but
yeah,
who knows?
Never saw that coming.
I could be faking it. You never know.
Kyle, it's been forever. Missed you, buddy. Why is this room covered in tarp?
Don't worry about it. Ignore the bloodstains. KNGI truly is a secretly evil organization.
Yes. I want to arrive at your volcano lair and you just pivot around with a hamster in your lap.
I mean,
welcome to my lair, Mr. Bumble King.
Why do you think it's so freaking hot in here? In my lair?
Joke's on you. I'm not the secret agent to stop you. I'm just looking to get hired.
Yeah. Apparently KNGI stands for Kyle Not Gutting Individuals. Thank you for that, chat. All right, Cool Christy 1 has a question. What if Sonic Drive-In is like McDonald's and has movie tie-in toys? Would you rather eat the chili dogs or the character as a whole? What is going on here?
It's been a long time since I went to a Sonic Drive-In.
Sonic Drive-In has had toys that are licensed before, so...
There was actually one right outside my college campus, and we went like once, and I don't think I got anything there. Why?
Well, it's fine. I would say you're not really missing much.
That's the impression I got.
It's fine, but yeah. I would rather eat the chili dogs. So that's what I'll say. Here's one from Definitely Not Cobalt. Oh, boys, I'm back. So what insider wisdom might you all be able to provide to assure the comic reading masses in the wake of the Diamond Comic Distributors bankruptcy news? Or is this actually a big problem for readers of IDW and others under Diamond and Penguin Random House?
From my understanding, IDW's books aren't distributed by Diamond.
No,
So,
they're distributed by Penguin, I think.
yeah, so this really doesn't affect them at all.
Yeah.
For others, coming up under other publishing houses and whatnot, I heard nothing but complaints from publishers and from the comic shops I went to about orders coming in wrong or order demands being obnoxious or yada yada. And nobody liked Diamond. I never heard a good thing about them in the 20 years I've been working in the industry.
Yeah, no.
So if anything, sure, it's a potential upset to distribution, but I see it as an opportunity for another business to come along and do it better. Like, I remember thinking years ago, if nobody likes Diamond, why doesn't somebody just step up and do it better? I mean, sure, Diamond has the international avenues. It's hard to contend with that, especially with, I'm assuming, exclusivity contracts.
Yeah.
But if you can offer a better alternative, people will find a way to support it for their own self-interest and nothing else. So no shade to the folks who work at Diamond who are being affected by this. I know that you're just doing your jobs. You've got mouths to feed. It's not good for you. That sympathy probably doesn't extend up to the executive level because we have to know where the problem starts. And, not great for those who have their primary hobby upset. That sucks. But I'm hoping that with this shakeup, we will see better business practices and better alternatives arise from it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's been, as the incumbent, basically monopoly holder of comic publishing, Diamond has been a problem for a long time, more than anything. So the fact that there are shakeups have been happening for a few years now, and even some of the biggest publishers have been like, you know what? Nah, we're not dealing with this crap anymore. We're going to another place. That I think that's kind of a good thing. So we'll see how it shakes out ultimately. Here's a question from Double L. Mega Man Burst episode. Crashman, Sparkman, and Needleman all enter a cooking competition, with Good Boy Rock deciding to help everyone. Go.
Yep. Rock is extremely worried because nobody here has hands, and cooking usually requires those.
Okay, that's what they all have in common. Got it.
Except, to his surprise, they are all incredibly adept, extremely dexterous. Everything comes out exquisite, and it's a lesson on ableism.
Exactly. These guys, they have literal, needles or drills for hands. That's all they've ever known. They know how to use them.
Like, he's just watching in horror as Crashman goes through an entire dozen of eggs, but all of them are meticulously cracked.
Perfectly fine, yeah. Yeah.
Needleman tenderizes that steak like nobody else can. What are you talking about?
They make the best smoothies, man. I mean,
Sparkman is a kebab master.
Crashman has blenders built into his hands. It's perfect. I see no problem with this. Question from Dove. I know they're named rock and roll, but what do you think would be their actual favorite musical genres? What about blues and bass? And to round up a question, my favorite bot, Crashman.
Good choice. Good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, help me out here. You're more musically inclined than I am.
I guess, but vaguely.
I can almost see rock and roll starting their own garage band just for funsies.
Maybe. Imagine Roll's more into pop idols, like J-pop.
Yeah, maybe.
Idols, yeah. I mean, she is one in some incarnations.
Do you think Quint's into alternative rock?
Get out. Sure, we'll go with that. Let's see. Blues is into early 2000s new metal.
Really?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Why not? Rock is into what is rock into? Mega Man remixes. I don't know.
Chiptunes.
The Megas.
Bass is totally into classic swing. No, death metal. Where'd you get that classic swing stuff? Shut up. No.
Yeah.
He's hardcore.
Yeah. Blues is into the early 2000s stuff. Blues loves Evanescence and stuff like that,
Look, just because you could make a music video out of any Evanescence song and plug Proto Man into it.
I think you're not wrong. And Crashman is into polkas.
Mm-hmm. Mean accordion player.
Yes. Weird Al Man is his favorite. All right, Godzilla has a question. Hello, Ian and Kyle. I know you're always super busy, but I have a manga recommendation for you. Dinosaur Sanctuary by Itaru Kinoshita. It's a wonderful slice of life manga about the day-to-day of running a dinosaur zoo. It's got fun characters, scientifically accurately drawn dinosaurs, and has plenty of fun world building and plenty of dino shenanigans for all ages. Jurassic Park meets Parks and Rec in a way. 10 out of 10, no notes. Highly recommend to everyone. It's cute dinosaurs. What's not to love?
You have sold me on this wholesale. Like, I know a lot of people say, you should watch this, you should read this. I'm like, yep, I'll add it to the pile. And this is also added to the pile, but this is kind of like shimmied up towards the top of the pile.
That's like
I'm not even usually into the slice of life stuff, but slice of life Dino Zoo, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
It's like Dino Park Tycoon, the comedy
and scientifically
show.
Accurate, so it's not just some cutesy ugu dinosaur thing, Pika Pika. No. Real dinosaurs, yeah. Okay.
Hey man,
yeah.
Dino Park Tycoon was scientifically accurate. That was an educational game.
I'm not besmirching that. I'm besmirching how
everything else. Yes,
things can babyfy the dinosaurs. No. We're talking real dinosaurs. Yeah.
No dino babies here. No. These aren't dino babies. These are dino men. Or something. I don't freaking know. Ignore me. Hero Squad has a question. Waluigi gets isekai into God of War. How's it go?
Good God. The idea of Waluigi with the blades of Athena is terrifying. I imagine it's just the exact same gameplay and progression, but instead of any dialogue, it's just him going perpetually twirling the blades. Cutscenes, blades are twirling. Those very specific mini games that are hidden behind walls, exact same voice lines the entire time.
It's God of War.
Yes, it is.
Good. Fantastic.
Ares, grant me your power.
Oh boy. Sadly, this will never happen, but it really should.
And I'm imagining the more recent games with the confrontation with Baldur, only it's kind of reversed. Baldur looking up at him going, you don't want this. And Waluigi looking down with this mad smile. Oh, I think I do.
I need Waluigi.
Why?
I need Waluigi versions of everything. Just put Waluigi in everything, please. Come on, Nintendo.
I don't know if we could have Waluigi get away with a "we need to be better" speech, unless it's highly ironic.
Well, I mean, it's funny. All right, here's one from Anonymous. Do you have any advice for a creator who wants to keep putting their work out there, but is admittedly tired of bad actors slinging mud or taking things in bad faith? Obviously, I don't want to tune all feedback out, as I'm open to constructive criticism, too. Sorry if this question is a bit too real, just something that's been on my mind for a while now.
No, it's perfectly valid, and unfortunately a hazard of the craft.
Yep, sadly.
And something you just gotta do is learn how to recognize the bad faith stuff and not give it any airtime in your head, in your soul. Just see it go, oh, one of them again, and let it roll by the wayside. And it can be hard to do because there's that little voice in the back of your head going, hey, what if they have a point? You know, maybe if you polish it off, maybe there's a little bit of real criticism that you can learn from in there. And you know what? Maybe, but you could also get that criticism from folks who are legitimately trying to be constructive, who are trying to build you up, who want you to succeed. And you don't have to waste all your emotional energy looking for it. So even if you don't have any positive feedback, like worst case scenario, everyone's just like, wah. So what?
Everyone's just like Waluigi?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming you're doing this because you love it and you're putting it out there because you don't want to just sit on a hard drive. That's fine. You do you, man. And if you have success and earn accolades, I'm very happy for you. And if not, at least you get the satisfaction of saying, I did it. I put it out there, because that's further than some folks go. So I would say keep doing what you're doing. Keep creating so long as it brings you joy and satisfaction.
Absolutely. Definitely keep creating. Just keep doing stuff.
We have another question for you, Kyle.
Okay.
This one comes from Jaden H. Kyle's isekai adventures begin.
Oh, no.
I guess I did take you out of the volcano layer. Sorry.
Yeah, well, all right, whatever.
After failing to acknowledge the steamed hands reference counter for too many episodes, Ann Tails transports him to none other than the world of the Simpsons to partake in an unforgettable luncheon. Does he attempt to help Principal Skinner cover up his botched roast, or rat him out to Superintendent Chalmers?
No, it's Super Nintendo Chalmers. Well, I feel for Skinner, so I'd probably try to help him out and run interference for him.
At the very least, you're getting a free Krusty Burger out of it.
Hey, yeah. Steamed hams. Really, go ahead.
How often do we get to see the Aurora Borealis?
At this time of year?
This time it lies entirely in his kitchen.
Wow. I mean, yeah, it is fascinating that it's all in there. Yeah. He let me see it, luckily, thankfully. He's cool like that. Yeah. No, Chalmers is not allowed, no. All right, let's take a quick break and have some delicious steamed hams and come back with more on the BumbleKast.
We're the bee and the berry. I'm the bee.
Jobs. No, I'm the bee.
Oh, my bad. We can cut that, right?
No, we can cut that.
Okay. We're the bee and the berry.
I'm the bee.
And I'm Strawberry.
And The Bee and the Berry is an irregularly scheduled podcast where we talk all things Sonic, writing fan fiction, and fan creation.
We snoop around at fan events, review the latest and hottest Sonic content, and host interviews with our fellow Sonic fan creators.
You know, just girly things.
And hey, if you want, you can totally send us any discussion topics or questions you'd like us to talk about, and we might answer them.
Or we might not.
But hey, you never know. You can find us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Tumblr, and YouTube at The Bee the Berry.
Okay, we're running out of time here. Gotta grow fast.
Ciao!
We're back with a question from Menkoi. When writing, I often find I have trouble filling in the middle bits of a story. I know the basic plot and character beats, but struggle getting from beat to beat. Any advice on translating an outline into a proper draft?
Look at those beats and go, okay, why do we get there? How do we get there? You know, what is it that changes between those beats? What has to be achieved? What has to be circumvented? What has to change? And why does that happen? And if you come up with the, I don't know, then you need to look at the beats themselves and maybe change those up. Or if you're going along, it's like, well, I got from beat to beat. Yay. If it doesn't excite you, then you need to rethink it. Because if you're bored, your reader's going to be bored. Ultimately, it comes down to revision and self-analysis, and there is no simple way to do that. I'm sorry. But again, look at it as organically as you can. If you know you have to get from point A to point B, how are you going to get there? And if your answer is a really convoluted, weird way, you may have to reconfigure your destination.
Mm-hmm. One bit of advice I've always liked has been, if you're ever stuck trying to get somewhere, just throw ninjas at it. Just have a random ninja attack. Just have a random ninja attack happen. See what happens. See where it goes from there, and then work from there. And then, if you don't like your random ninja attack just happening in the middle of nowhere, out of nowhere, you can go back and take it out and revise it. But, at least you got past the part that you're stuck on, and then you can go back to it later.
A bad idea can be revised. No idea leaves you nowhere.
Yeah. All right, Mixer17 has a question. Do either of you happen to have any favorite examples of why you can't do a certain action in video games that aren't just them saying no? Mine is how, in TAC 3, the reason why you can't swim with the Loke is because the fish hate him and will come out of nowhere just to beat him to death. I think it's some of Patrick Warburton's best screams. I think they mean Jack 3. Good. I think it means Jack 3.
Well, regardless.
Yes, that is pretty funny.
I never played it myself. It was one of the Grand Theft Autos, I think, where if you tried to fly or boat away from the city too far, a storm would roll in and just blast you back or get you wasted, which I thought was a clever way of doing it. And kind of topical because we've been playing Genshin Impact lately. If you just start out and you try to go to Inazuma early, you can almost get there. And then Divine Lightning makes sure you don't, because there's a story reason you can't get
there. You're not allowed here. The deity says so. There's for me, one of my favorites. This is very similar to the Grand Theft Auto one you mentioned, but it's a bit more silly. And there's a developer, a longtime developer, game developer. All their games have basically the same sort of open world exploration racing game sort of vibe going on. Like you can go anywhere. It's usually they make off-road racing games, so it's like, yeah, you can just go around and like ride dirt bikes or monster trucks or wherever or whatever, just driving anywhere you want. But their trademark is when you get toward the boundaries, the game literally like turns you into a cannon and launches you back. Just like as soon as you touch the boundary, it's like boom, cannon. It even makes the cannon sound effect. Like you literally just got launched out of a cannon and it just flings you back.
That is most excellent.
Yes. And it's like every game they've ever made has this same exact mechanic when you get to the edge of the playable world.
I like that a lot.
Brilliant. It's like it doesn't matter what you're playing as, whether you're a guy on a dirt bike or a monster truck. It don't matter. It will launch you like miles back from whence you came. You're not allowed here. Boom. And this is going all the way back to the 90s when they were doing this. Like their first game, I think, was Motocross Madness from like 1995 for PC. And I remember like that specifically, that mechanic when you got to the edge, because you could go around and ride around anywhere you wanted and, explore, check things out. But as soon as you got to the end of the map, it's like, boom, launches you back. And literally every game they've ever made since then, same thing. It's fantastic. I love like little developer signatures like that. It's great. Here's one from Mutton Chop. Hello, Mr. Bumble King. Just wanted to let you know you're doing a good job and to keep up the good work. Please have a slice of your favorite pie and enjoy the rest of this whirlwind year.
Well, I do appreciate that sentiment, and I might just take you up on that pie.
Pie.
Haven't had that in a while. Might go get me some pie.
Pie.
You know what? You have some pie as well, or cake, or dessert of your choice.
Pie.
You know what? That goes for everybody.
Yes.
Go get yourself a sweetie thing and enjoy yourself, and just take a minute to unclench your jaw, unclench your fists, turn off your brain for a second, and just go pie or cake, cookie, whatever.
I like how this technically is not a question, but Mutton Chop put a question mark at the end of it anyway.
Yeah, I appreciate that effort too.
Yeah. All right, Nikki R has a question. Hey, Ian, I wanted to ask some advice. I have been trying to write comic scripts in panel-by-panel style for a while, but I struggle when it comes to actually describing the scene. I feel like I'm either not detailed enough or so detailed yet poorly explained that it's more confusing than anything. So, Ian, do you have any tricks for describing things in panels? Are there any universal panel describing terms that I should know about?
Not necessarily universal, because when it comes to comic scripting, it's maybe some publishing houses have a particular style, but a lot of it is just turn it in on time. I have a sample on bumbleking.com if you want to reference that. Free to download. I've been told by a number of artists they really like my scripting style, so that might help you out. In general, you want to firmly establish the setting when it's new. So, when it starts off on this page, or if you do a mid-page transition, you want to be able to set up the whole scene. But then when you get to panel, you don't necessarily have to specify exactly what's going on because you've already established it, and the artist should know what they have to play with setting-wise. Something that you can try to do is look at a comic that you enjoy and write down what you see. Describe what is there. Script it off of the finished product to see how you would describe it. What is being conveyed to you by the finished page, and how would you tell that to another artist to reproduce it? Or watch something, movie, TV series, stream, whatever, and write down, script it. Like, how would you turn that into a beat by beat comic page? And by looking at how that is described, studying how they chose their specific shots, how the characters are emoting moment to moment, you can kind of see how others have tackled the pacing of it and what is significant in those individual moments that you need to highlight for your script.
Alrighty. Onyxodon has a question. Continuing from my last question from a couple of weeks ago, your Batman series has become a huge success. Now Warner Brothers wants to do a spin-off series revolving around the misadventures and hijinks of Scarecrow and Joker, played by Ian and Kyle respectively, with the soundtrack done by Daniel Pemberton. In this comedic yet somehow emotional and tear-jerking buddy series, what is the main premise and who is the main antagonist? A member of the Bat family? Another Batman villain? And what's the role of Aaliyah's Condiment Queen? And when is the inevitable musical episode guest starring Jen's Music Meister?
I feel like this is just Seinfeld with Bat villains.
I suppose.
Our Newman is just Commissioner Gordon, who happens to live in the same flat.
Maybe a little too much like the Harley Quinn show. No, the Harley Quinn show's a bit off the over cartoonish. Yeah. What's up?
Or we just make it a riff on Frasier because we already have a Dr. Crane.
Yay! Damn it.
Honestly, Joker. The bylaws may say that we can have 2 pets in this apartment, but they're both hyenas and they're making a mess of everything.
And this is exactly how it goes. The Joker just wheeze laughs the whole time. It's perfect. It's perfect. Who's the villain in this instance?
Our own common sense.
I think so, yeah.
The big twist is that we're not actually in an apartment. It's just shared cell at Arkham. But it's our shared delusion that this is a sitcom.
Mm. Okay, I had to check who Daniel Pemberton was. He did the
I did not.
He did the Spider-Verse movies, soundtracks for those.
Oh, why are you wasting his talent on this?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I mean, if he wants to fart something out on a keyboard just to get a paycheck, that's fine. He doesn't have to put effort into this.
No. Oh, okay. He did Little Big Planet, the first two Little Big Planet games. All right.
Oh, wow.
Cool. Hey. Those have great music. Yeah. He seems like he's really slumming it with this thing.
I don't know. Maybe he needed like pocket change for the Metro or something.
Maybe.
Something that tied him over between real projects.
Yeah. What are Condiment Queen and the Music Meister up to?
Condiment Queen is in the same apartment. It's a 3-bedroom thing, and she just tries not to get involved in our nonsense. And is very ticked off when, the fridge is not fully stocked with various condiments.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the Music Meister episode is teased throughout the season because Jen keeps coming up at the front door or is like out on the balcony or something. And we just keep closing the door on her, closing the window, interrupting before it can get started.
Mm-hmm.
Until the final episode of the season where we don't get 2 words in. She just kicks in the door we're all like tear gassed and bound to the floor, and then the music begins, and it's a whole musical episode.
Of course. Perfect. Fantastic. There's our villain, the landlord, or the HOA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I don't care if it's not Halloween anymore. They're festive.
All right, Scurvy Pirate Dog has a question. In the Archie Mega Man comics, part of their backstory was that Wily had been banned from robotics. What if Dr. Light had been banned instead?
I don't think he could keep away.
I don't think he would stop, no.
I think he would build rock and roll, and they're very human-like children, and we're just not going to talk about the joints or the fact they don't need to go to a pediatrician.
Who's the mother?
They're adopted.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I guess he'll go back to being maybe he'll just go back to being Santa.
And then Wily attacks, and there's literally nobody in the world who can build robots to stop him. And Light's like, Rock, would you like to play dress up for a little while? I'll give you a toy gun. No, that could actually be incredibly tragic and harrowing.
Yeah, that's a little dark-ish. I mean, to be fair, if you really think about it, Mega Man's a little dark. Not nearly as dark as, like, X, but still.
We went some places in the comic series.
Oh,
not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah, absolutely, you did. All right, Soccer Cod has a question. Scrooge McDuck fires his accountant Fenton Crackshell and instead hires Pepe Le Pew as a replacement. This also means that we got a new character called Gizmo Skunk who protects Scrooge's money. How does that go?
He gets a little too into the arsenal.
Oh, boy.
Oh, the missiles, pew, pew. Oh, the lasers, pew, pew. I imagine he still does the little hop thing, but it's with the tire, so it just makes a little screech every time. As he's chasing people down.
Yes. I will have a nap, and then I will fire the missiles. How
do you say blathering blatherskite in a French accent?
What? Blathering?
I don't know. Or maybe he doesn't even need the code word. How did you just put it on? The language of love.
Scrooge is like, we've had some complaints from HR. All right, Soul Sparks has a question. This one's sponsored by Allison S. Were there ever any plans to adapt Mega Man X Command Mission for the Archie Mega Man comic? I've always felt that, if not for that one stupid line in the intro placing it in 22XX, it would work really nicely slotted in between X7 and X8.
Yeah, and I feel that there were one or two plot points that meant it wouldn't fit properly. It was meant to be its own kind of standalone thing, but it still shared so many elements of X. It's like, why didn't you just put it in there? So I didn't have any hard plans. I kind of was thinking at the time that if we got that far, I would see if Capcom was amenable to us just gently massaging Command Mission story so it did fit in the regular X continuity, or kind of glaze over those spots and ask for forgiveness later. And this is coming from someone who wants to be a purist for most part. I feel like it really felt weird to be an outlier, but it's such a good game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to ignore it.
I kind of love the world building and stuff that's in that game. I really wish they would have done something with it beyond, but frustrating. All right, here's one from Spoiler 1001. Even though Wily was very pro-robot free will, how would he feel about X and Zero making doe eyes at each other?
Was he really that much about free will? I thought it was just domination.
He was more... Wily was more about controlling his robots and making them do his bidding.
I mean, he's bad at it, but...
Yeah, Light was like the free will guy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, I think Light would just be happy that they found happiness, and Wily wouldn't care, get back to work. Why are you not killing Mega Man? I made you to kill Mega Man. Kill the Mega Man.
Well, yeah, but Wily would be mad because he's like, stop being friendly with Mega Man and kill him.
Unless this is all just a ploy. Make him lower his defenses and then you kill him. In which case, fine, just get on with it. Yes, I'll come to the wedding. Just get on with it.
Jeez.
And we have yet another question for you, Kyle. Bumper crop this episode.
This is crazy. I don't understand this. I'm very confused.
This comes from the Aussie Blue. A question for Kyle. You and Ian have been friends for a long time making these videos. So I have to wonder, do you make these videos one after the other, putting aside a few hours to record, or do you record multiple episodes in advance and put aside an entire day to record?
Well, it depends. I think the answer is yes.
More or less.
It really does depend. Like, how many episodes do we need coming up to fill out our schedule? And, how much can we do? Like, how much is Ian physically able to do usually? 'Cause
right. Like,
usually,
in the case of this recording here, I would love to do some more stuff to put in the can, but I'm going to be winded by the end of this episode because I'm still recovering from Bumble COVID.
Yes. Oh, that seems too whimsical for what it is, putting Bumble in front of it, it's a little...
If it's going to knock me out for the better part of a month, I'm going to claim it. It's mine.
Okay. Otherwise, typically we do the episodes we need for a week, the week before, except when we had a massive 6-month plus long backlog of minis. That was different, but now it's more we're recording this, when you hear it, it'll be Monday, but we recorded this last week on Wednesday. So just to pull the curtain back a little bit. So yeah, usually a week-ish beforehand.
And sometimes we knock out a few minis in a row just to have them ready to go.
Yeah.
But those are usually shorter than the main episode, so we can do that.
Yes. Alrighty. Cyberspace Coco has a question. When it comes to Dragoon, how much do you worry about the direction of your characters far down the line in future storylines? When writing my own characters, I came up with a list of themes and storylines, but I'm concerned about what to do once I resolve those stories. For example, I'm a big Dragon Ball fan, and Toriyama sidelined a lot of characters as the manga progressed because they outlived their original purpose. Do you have arcs planned for the Fortune's Lap crew way down the line?
Yeah, I have the main story arc plotted out. I know where Jobun and Lissy and Foreign and Wind are going to start and where they're going to be by the end, with the major mile markers already set and why they get there and how they get there. And some of that has changed over time as I revise and, actually put letters on a page and get it down. The extended cast, that has been more malleable. There was a supporting character who was very integral to a major plot beat in the early drafts, but for various reasons, I decided we're just going to cut him. And without him there, it became a question of, okay, well, how did they achieve what they need to? And in doing so, that actually accelerated Foreign's plot line and the narrative overall, and just made things all the more tighter and more succinct. So, huzzah!
Yay!
Meanwhile, with book 2, it came about because of the way book 1 ended, and it's okay, well, I need a kind of bridging device here that I hadn't originally thought of, and that necessitated some new characters and locations and ways to explore the greater narrative. And that's great. I like these new characters that have kind of introduced themselves, oh, hi, didn't know you were coming. Make yourself comfortable. I'll do my best to write you well. But it's kind of in the back of my mind now, okay, now that they're here, do they have long-term goals? Do I need to revisit them down the line? Or is it okay that we told their story in this one instance because they aren't part of the main cast? They're going on the journey, and it's okay to just have temporary companions. That's something to be investigated down the line.
Okay, here's one from Turalata the Janetta. Hi, Ian and Kyle. This is my first time. Please, will you be gentle?
Well, since you asked politely, no.
No. Good, I'm glad we're on the same page. Here's one from Twilord. When making something like Dragoon or Claus McGee, how do you convince yourself that your core ideas are worth the work?
am I entertained by it? Then sure to goodness someone else will be. That's validation enough.
I mean, that makes sense.
It's taken me a long time to get to that level of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be lying if I said it was resolute. But over the years, I've come to just accept that art can exist for the sake of art. It doesn't have to be high art. It doesn't even have to be good art. But if you are creating it to feel accomplished and fulfilled, then that is enough. And I've said it before, I will be thrilled if Drogoon does manage to blossom into something huge that everyone can enjoy, and it becomes some kind of great multimedia hydra that will never die.
Fingers
I will
crossed.
also be happy if I'll also be happy if it stays within a fandom of like 100 folks. Like if the Patreon never grows by another person, because as long as they're entertained, I'm happy. As long as I get to do something that's my own, and put it out there, I'm happy. Let it be. It doesn't have to be about success. It doesn't even have to be about validation in the eyes of others. It is your project. It is your artwork. Make it, because it's yours.
Yeah, definitely. And here's one from Virgil Angelo. Darmok Enchilada Tanagra. The Temerian race has no sense of self and communicates solely through allegory from their mythology, with phrases such as Shaka when the walls fell, to convey failure, or Sokoth, his eyes open, for revelation. Now it's your turn to come up with your own Temerian phrases based on the BumbleKast or Ian's work. To get you started, Ian, smiling knowingly, means to keep a secret. Temba, his arms wide.
Kyle, the sock's still on.
All right, that's all we need. I don't think
got him.
I don't think there's anything else. I don't think you can say anything else. I think you just speed runned that question. Oh man. Ugh. And our last question is from Vineclad. A while back, I came across the Triceratops quill theory. Since you like talking about dinosaurs, what are your thoughts on this controversial theory?
Actually, I had to look this one up. And the basic idea is that Triceratops and other species like it may have had like quill-like feathers along the spine or tail or somewhere on its body.
Interesting.
The evidence of this being kind of potch marks and striations on samples of fossilized skin that would imply that they exist, and makes enough sense to me. I mean, not all dinosaurs would eventually become birds. That was mostly the theropod line from our current understanding.
Yeah.
But I would think that if there was a common enough ancestor that it could possibly go that way. And, evolution is not a logical process.
No, it is not. And it's not a linear path either.
No, it's more of a shotgun approach.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Things can just be ornamental. Things can be weird. Look at the birds of paradise we have today. A lot of those things don't function. But
birds of prey, birds of paradise are a plant. I think.
No, from tropical New Guinea.
Oh, okay.
The ones that are like
the actual
black,
birds.
or have
Okay.
like tails that are 5 miles long.
All right. For some reason, I was thinking of something else. My bad. Okay.
No, I get what you're talking about.
I'll look it up.
And even so, you look at their skeletons, and you wouldn't necessarily know the absurdities that they can achieve. So, I think, from what little I know of the theory, I think it makes enough sense. And I don't think it's particularly damaging if it is or isn't true. And if it is, I just think that makes dinosaurs all the more neat because they're just weird dragon monsters.
I gotta be honest, some of the artist renditions of Triceratops with quills look pretty freaking rad.
I mean, you already have a Triceratops, which is one of the most metal dinosaurs out there.
Yeah.
And now you want to just give it cool quills on the back? Yes, thank you.
Put spines on it? Heck yeah, that looks freaking sick. Look at this guy.
And just awesome. Kind of trying to do backwards logic on evolution here. It always bugged me with my toy dinosaurs that, okay, here's Triceratops. He's got a very formidable frontal defense. But if you walk behind, there isn't really anything back there. But if he's got like a row of quills to stop something from snacking on his spinal cord, that would be a decent deterrent.
Yeah.
And if you have so much of your energy and mass devoted to your head and neck muscles, something that is considerably more lightweight in the back means that you're maybe slightly bounced and you're not a heavily armored ankylosaur or something like that. I don't know. It makes enough sense to me.
Yeah, it looks pretty freaking awesome to me. I'm down, whether it's real or not. Let's pretend it was.
I mean, I'm kind of thinking of like the giant anteaters.
Right.
They look fluffy, but those are serious bristles.
Oh yeah.
They will mess you up if it decides to swatch you. So just more of that, but it's more feather-like on a triceratops. Sure, cool.
Yes. I'm in. I'm sold. I don't know what I'm buying, but I'm sold.
Like, what if they were like banded in color so it kind of broke up their profile on the horizon?
Right.
What if they changed color during mating season? What if they could actually like raise or lower them as a form of intimidation or display?
Mm-hmm.
What if animals they do stuff like that?
What if they glowed as they charged up their fire breath?
I know, right?
Exactly. Yes.
And you're a T-Rex. You want some lunch? He's like, I can get around that frill and horns, and then you hear the da 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 da. It's like, nope. Stepping aside.
Never mind. I'm leaving now. Goodbye. Yeah, exactly.
Even worse when they go a level beyond and they turn gold. So,
on that note, I think it's time to end this BumbleKast.
Triceratops, nothing. That's a succeed tops. All right, I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you so much to all our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Don't buy the Triceratops. And we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Thank you for listening, everybody. See you next time. God, that Triceratops looks freaking cool with spines. One of the artist renditions of it. It's badass.
It reminds me of that discussion of, you can't put feathers on the raptors. They just look goofy. It's like, have you seen that person's remastering of the Velociraptor scene in Jurassic Park with the scientifically accurate feathered raptors? They are freaking terrifying.
Yeah. Have you seen some birds? They're freaking scary, man.
Oh, yeah. Like you walk up to like an emu or a moa and say, "Oh, it's just a bird." No. You're
getting kicked. Oh, you're getting kicked so bad.
Shoot, if you get on the wrong side of a turkey, it will kill you.
I mean, a wrong side of a rooster. I got chased by a rooster as a child.
Yeah.
They will screw you up, man.
And basically, a velociraptor was a rooster when you get down to it.
Basically, yes. Very similar.
Sure, the Jurassic Park raptors are too big, but just fine, call it a Deinonychus or a juvenile Utah raptor, a Dromaeosaur or something. Regardless,
yes,
something in that family will kill you.
They were
it's done.
They were big freaking chickens. Man, yeah. There's a reason why when you smack a cuckoo in Zelda, they all come after you. Now I'm getting isekai. Jeez. When do Ian's isekai adventures begin?
Well, at least Antails merely transported you.
Yeah.
He didn't necessarily invite Truck-kun.
Yeah, he transported me. He didn't murder me. That we know of.
Hey, Midna.
Midna, quiet. Midna, be quiet. Midna, shut up. Midna.
If you want kibble, you should eat your kibble instead of leaving it out for the baby to eat, because it's special kibble for you, and it's going to make him get the poops, and I don't want to clean that again.
Just follow him around with a bag behind his butt.
He's a long hair, too.
Ugh.
That causes complications.
Mm-hmm. I know. Don't tell Midna what to do, though. You're not the boss of her.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
I got Molly and Midna right at my feet here.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
Stop. Enough.
Oh.
Both of you.
I'm surprised that
What?
okay. I was going to say that I was surprised that Molly was actually allowed to be near Midna, but it sounds like she was not.
They're coexisting better now. Molly has learned that Midna's a grumpy old lady and doesn't want to play.
Yeah.
So she usually gives her distance.
Yeah.
Except right now where Midna's grooming herself and Molly's lying there and she just kind of reaches out and BAP! Gotcha! To which Midna goes, "Oh my God, you invaded my personal space, Panicon!" It's like, just stop it. Both of you. Quit it.
Oh, cats. Oh, cats.
It's a long cry from the very angry, worrisome that they were when they first met.
Yeah.
Now it's just, a bratty kid and a grumpy old lady.
Yeah.
It's Dennis the Menace and Mr. Wilson. Just cats.
Good. Okay.
Like Molly could, just now, Molly could have responded way, way more aggressively.
Oh, yeah.
And it said all she did was back down and kind of put her ears back, like, quit hitting me. So it could be a whole lot worse. They're calm now. They need to stay calm as I record, please.
Uh-huh. Get out of here.